there's just so many different ways to clean. And for me, I think it's just become one of those things where it's easiest to say, do you want luxury level cleaning or would you like a custom clean? We pride ourselves on luxury cleaning. Like, I'm the type of person that I will clean your stuff and it will be as close to looking like new as possible.
Hi, and welcome to Unlocking More with Brittany McWilliams. On today's episode, I'm here with Brooke. Brooke is the owner of the Natural Standard Cleaning Company, serving the Indianapolis area, providing non-toxic, detail-focused cleaning service for residential, commercial, and construction properties. Driven by a purpose to create healthier space, she utilizes intentional non-toxic methods such as Norwex microfiber systems. She combines her expertise in small business ownership with a strong commitment to building client trust and delivering exceptional care. Hey, Brooke, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for
Brooke, on
inviting me.
yes, we on my introduction, I left out one thing that you were a firefighter. So you also served our community in that way also.
Yes, yes.
Well, we'll just jump right into it if you're okay with it.
Yeah, I'm good. Shoot.
Brooke, what inspired you to start your cleaning business, and how does your background shape the deep care and values behind your work?
Yeah, so, well, like you said, I was a firefighter. 2016, we had our son April. I was driving the truck until like mid-March because I did not want to leave. So I actually remember I was probably, I mean, a solid 8 months pregnant, and it would have been my last fire. And I tried to go in, and the officer just looked at me. He was like, you're staying out here. And I'm like, this is probably the last time. I was so heartbroken. But yeah, so I had my son in April of 2020, 2016. I was like 2023. No, he was born on the 23rd. Yeah, and when he was born, he just had a lot of issues with his stomach. He screamed all the time. It was super stressful as a mom, but then like I've always worked, and every time I thought about going to work, I just got sick to my stomach. I was like, there's no way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my husband's a firefighter. Like, there's no way that we can both be gone these long periods of time and even trust anybody to take care of him well. Like, he would be that kid on the news they're putting in the closet because he won't stop crying. So I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. So by November of 2016, I was like, I have to get out of the house. I need to make some money. I'm just going to see if I can pull some cleaning clients. Was literally charging $10 an hour, like using Dollar Tree products. It was like struggling mom of newborn baby needing
Mm-hmm.
to just feel a sense of self. So that's kind of how I got started. And then over time, it just kept evolving, and my high attention to detail, goes really far for me. But then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be kind of a hindrance to find employees as well.
Well, I know with myself, I struggle just with needing things to be perfect all
Mm-hmm.
the time. It can be hard in itself, like stressful to have everything line up perfect all the time. Or having someone like in your aspect cleaning or doing what is staying on par to what you think that the exceptional care would be for someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you have to be very picky with who you bring aboard with you to make sure their values are lining up with yours.
Yeah. 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 It's been tough. It's been tough. Like, I had someone one time and they're like, I'll come and clean for you. I'm like, can you come pick me up every day for work? And I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I have to get an Uber and pretend like you have a car or something, I mean, it's just, and it's not to shame anybody that's in that kind of
Mm-hmm.
situation. It gets hard because I have such a huge heart. I want to help everybody. But when it comes to business, like, you got to like find a way to, like, I don't know, I don't want to say like harden a little bit, but I mean, you still got to have boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that
So,
takes away from your family time too if
hmm
you're So that's tough. I know with my job too, like and I still struggle with it to find, whether I'm out if I'm podcasting, showing houses, open houses, whatever I may be doing to set aside like that family time. And sometimes I think I drive my family nuts because this thing here doesn't leave my hip.
Yeah.
Like and I'm always on it, and I catch myself now where like my better half or my kid could be talking to me and I get a text because I'm just wired that way. I see that my clients text me and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get back with them right now. In reality, if I wait 10 minutes, it's probably not going to hurt anything, but boy, does that
Mhm.
put some stress on me. So I'm like, oh man, if I don't answer right now, like they're not going to use me as a realtor. That's
Yeah.
the mindset I have, which in some cases, I guess that could be, but my response time is usually within 5 minutes to clients.
Yeah. Yeah. I had that same struggle too in the beginning. And, I mean, like I said, like I was charging cheap prices before. I'm like, I don't even know how was I even making money, like charging $10 an hour in the beginning? Like, I think I just thought it was okay because, I mean, being part time at the firehouse, like I was only making like $11, $12 an hour. It was insane.
Hmm.
Even if I was working overtime and because I was in the float pool, so I could pick up pretty much as many hours as I wanted. But that was something early on, like, the latest start time is 10 and we were done at 4. Like at or before 4, because even back then I wanted to form this business model that would kind of nurture the life of a stay-at-home mom
Hmm.
where they can still get out, still make some income for themselves, because I think women now also are, I mean, at least speaking for myself, I feel this need to provide, like not just emotionally. Like I think, you know, getting that income and bringing that income in and helping provide financially for the family as well, it's, I don't know if it's a need. I don't know if it's just how our culture has evolved over time because I'm just like, I don't, maybe it's the ADHD. I can't stay home 24/7 just with kids. I get I'm overtouched, I'm overtalked to. I'm like, "Oh my God, just leave me alone." It
And
gets
I feel like I'm on that same page with you, Brooke. That do I need to? I mean, was there a time where I wasn't bringing income in for my household? Yes, and
Mhm,
I knew my like there was a role I played, right? But when I chose this career, which thank goodness, what a blessing it's been in my life. I absolutely love my job. But all of a sudden I went from, I never made a ton of money, and I'm not saying I make a ton of money now, but how I feel it feels almost so rewarding that I'm able to contribute to like my household. I love that
mhm,
feeling. Like it's like I feel like, oh, I don't know how to explain the feeling besides just being grateful, and I'm like, oh, I get to like actually, you know what, I'm gonna pay for this even though our money's
yeah,
in a joint account. I'm like, yeah, but like that I know I contributed to it, so
mhm,
it's a good feeling for sure.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I've always thought of like, I mean, because like as you know, I took firefighting in high school.
Hmm.
I didn't come back to that job until like 7 years later. And it was after I had my daughter and I had like went to school for MA and I was like drawing blood for a while, but I kept walking past my cadet helmet every day, like on my dad's bookshelf. He had it sitting up there and I'm just like, man, there's like a grief here. Like it's been years and it's just still pulling back to me and I'm like, I can't do this, like I have a daughter. And then it turned into, oh, I have to do this because I have a daughter. Like,
Hmm.
I can't just I know, like, what kind of because, like, you instantly have, when you have a daughter, like, you have to, it's like this whole different set of responsibilities. And you're like, no, like, I have to teach her to be a woman who chases after her dreams and, that it's okay to be, because I don't know what she wants, is going to want to be. She's 17 now, but it's just like, it was crazy. And so I was like, all right, 2012. I'm going back. Like, went back to C9. I went to C9 and retook the classes and
I
got
love that.
certified and was hired to Greenwood Fire Department in August of 2013. So I got a few years in there before, I found love, had a baby, and then I was back at home again. I would cry. Oh my God, I cried every time I heard a fire truck. I don't know if it was like postpartum
See
or
Brooke
what.
going down there chasing the truck.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what are they doing? Where are they going? Like, oh my god, but it's so fun to drive, and why? And I'm just driving this baby around, thinking this isn't as exciting. It's actually really stressful,
I
But
love it.
yeah, but I love being a mom, and that was one thing that I always knew I wanted to be ever since I was little. I always wanted to be a mom, so it's been a no-brainer for me at any point in time, even leaving the fire service, that
Mhm.
like my kids come first, and at least I got to experience it. At least it was something I circled back to and followed through. But but the cleaning business just kept growing, and then I stumbled on Norwex products, and it was like, holy crap, like these are a game changer. Like this chick came in my house and she was like showing me these rags, and she rubbed some raw chicken on my countertop. And I was like, first of all, that's a no-no. Like me and my dad are like wash our hands every 5 minutes when we're cooking raw meat in the kitchen type people. And she like rubbed this little swab on there, and then she wiped it off, wiped off the raw chicken with the rag, and then she like wiped it on a plate afterwards, and then she tested all of it, and all the salmonella was gone. It was
Oh
like
wow.
trapped in the rag, and I was like, no way. Like, and she was like, these work better than bleach. Like bleach, you have to like let it sit. And I started researching it more, and it is crazy. Like I have such peace of mind using them. It can be hard it can be challenging for clients to trust the product at
Mhm.
times. That was something, especially back in, I think I started using them in 2020, probably 2018.
Mhm.
And it was hard to get clients to trust that like it's okay, like we don't need chemicals, this is actually cleaning your surfaces more efficiently without all that, which is even better. And there's even like a news clip that you can find on YouTube, and they tested it, and I mean they work. They do such a good job with trapping bacteria, but also not transferring it. And that was the huge thing for me, because like you can have a rag and you use it on the toilet, and then you could go and use it on the counter. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to
It
freak
still
out.
feels wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like the almost like those cheesy like science videos you would have to watch in high school. I'm like, if I was to do that, my brain is only going to see like a bunch of little poop on the on the counter. Like there's no way I could do that. But if that was to happen, like cross contamination is just not something that you
Non-existence with
generally
those.
have to worry about with them, and it's that even beyond that, like their mop is great. And it was just, I don't know, it was just mind blowing to me. I was like, I don't have to buy paper towels anymore. Like there's so many, it took out so much extra work
Mhm.
for me
And some of
to
those harsh
switch to those
chemicals.
products. But then it was surprising because for at first, like I wanted them for myself. I didn't want to have to keep using cleaning product, the chemicals and stuff like that. But then when we birthed naturally OCD cleaning, that's what it was before we, did a rebranding and did natural standard. I couldn't believe how many people were just like calling us and calling us and calling us. And then we ended up with Keller Williams Company, and we were cleaning there and at the office every week. And then COVID hit, and then IMI called us, so we had a few IMI plants that we were cleaning. I had a apartment complex, I will never do that again. It was section 8 at that, so that was a whole experience. But it just kept growing and growing and growing, and it was that satisfaction of like, oh my god, like if anything, God forbid, were to happen to my husband or to happen to our relationship, like I could make it on my own. Like
Mhm.
I think it's just something that a lot of women tend to lack. I feel like it's getting to be more common now, but like back in the day and like when we were growing up, it just, for me, I didn't really see, like my grandmother always stayed home, and she would have like a few side jobs or something, but she stayed home with the kids. My mom babysat and stayed home with the kids for a long time before she was back and forth with hair a little bit. But it was just great. It was great to have the freedom to be able to be here for my kids, Nick's daughter, her mom is a nurse, so she's got two, first responder parents, and I wanted the kids to have the security of knowing if they need mom, she's going to be around. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be a parent available for them.
I
So,
love that. And you describe yourself as intentionally purposed. Where
mhm.
did your passion for creating healthier, non-toxic approach to home care come from?
It was definitely in, I think it happened more after I experienced the Norwex products. And it was just like, wow, like how, like I still, when I go to the gym, I'm like, I feel like everybody just needs to have a Norwex rag because like there's always swass on the benches and it's awful.
And you've
And I'm
seen
like,
those guys when they're done, if they clean it, like they spray it in like half butt, wipe it down, the
yeah,
bench after they get off, or the handles. I mean, personally, I'm not going to say I've been guilty of it, but I like, when you're working out, the last thing you want to go do is run and get their spray and wipe it down. So I've been one of those people where it's like, shh, and then like just that, and then go to the next machine. Like I'm guilty
yeah.
of
At
not
least
cleaning
there's
it
some.
properly.
Yeah. Well, and like the wipes they have at LA, they like it's like by the time you're done wiping it down, it's dry. Like the wipe is dry. It's like there's not even anything on it anymore. But
It's for show.
literally, I'm like, what is even in this? Like Windex? I don't know. But it became about me at first. It was like, I won't have to worry about like breathing in this lime away all the time, and like barkeeper's friend's not terrible, but I mean, it gets to where you're using some chemicals, especially when you're in a bathtub and it's like contained in there. Like there'd be days like my throat was burning,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started using those, and it was just like, oh my god, it's so nice to like not have to worry about anything that I'm touching, first of all. I mean, it does dry your hands out a bit because it's so absorbent, but to not have to worry about like anything that I'm touching, to not have to really worry about like, I don't know, spreading something on something and then having to let it set for a long time because they have this paste that really breaks through like hard water. And then it was just like, wow, like, these people can like give their kids a bath and they don't have to worry about any, like, I don't have to worry about having any residue in here that the kids are just like soaking in leftover comment
Mm-hmm.
later. Or, it's things that we never really thought about in our time of growing up and whatever. But now it's just become such a big thing. And then I had like this whole health scare in 2021. And then it was even more special. It was like this stuff is really affecting people, and we didn't even realize it. So it's nice to give people, especially like pet owners, seem to be the most grateful. They just
Mm-hmm.
love like that their dog isn't going to get into anything, or they don't have to worry about like their cat, or spray overspray getting on their food or whatever. It's just nice all around because you don't have to worry about oh my god, if I had $1 for every bath rug I've accidentally bleached over the years. Like, I don't have to worry about ruining people's stuff anymore. I mean, there's so many benefits to it. But I'm a hippie myself, and I just love the natural organic way of doing things. So it honestly just kind of fits my whole personality.
I love that. And as a Ashley, I called you Ashley.
It's
It's
okay.
gonna be an old
It's
habit.
fine.
It's gonna be hard not to. I'm sorry. I've been
It's
good all
fine.
show,
It's
but
fine. That's how
Brooke,
you know that they're an OG. It's fine.
yeah, when someone calls you Ashley, it's at least 20 years back. As a survivor-owned business, your mission extends far beyond cleaning. Can you share the powerful vision behind your upcoming nonprofit organization?
Yeah, so Lion Heart Refuge is something that my husband and I have been kind of brainstorming behind the scenes. One of the big drivers of that is my sexual trauma. Such a hard journey to walk. Like it's a whole other podcast. And I worked at Charles Schwab last year, starting like during the time my dad was sick, and then I mean he died 12 days in, and I loved the atmosphere they had there. And the way that they love their employees, it really just taught me something new as a business owner. And I didn't have plans on starting the cleaning business back up again full force. at the time, because I was just really enjoying the environment there. It was like being in college, going through the stockbroker licensing and stuff. But what I learned the most from being there was you value the employee as much as you value the client, because without the employee, you may not have a client.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that in the fire service it was very hard. Because at the time, Greenwood had never hired a woman full time. I think it was probably 5 years after I left before they did. A lot of hazing, a lot of, it just, some departments just don't handle female energy in that space well. And for me, I grew up with all brothers, so I just wanted to be in a brotherhood. Like, that's what I was used to. Like, usually if I was really close to a girl in high school, we were tomboys, so it worked. You know what I mean? But
I do know what you mean.
you oh my god, we were fun.
Yeah, we still are fun. 20 years later, and we're still fun.
But I feel like that I feel like I just keep getting better, honestly.
Yeah,
I
with
think I
age.
get
That's what
yeah.
we're aging like fine wine, girl.
Yes, yes, cougardom. We're entering into the cougardom. But
Yes.
I loved so much how comfortable I was there, because it's a male dominating atmosphere, and I just learned a lot about, like, for example, every 5 years they get a 28-day paid sabbatical. Every 5 years of service that you have there, you get 28 days, to kind of reset. It was just that value. And I ended up losing my job in October because I failed my Series 7 a second time, and we all were sad, and I was crying, and I was just like, no, I haven't felt this way about anything since the fire service. Like, this was so fun. But then I was like, maybe I didn't like the hours. That was hard. So that's kind of what kind of brought the cleaning business back into view. And before, our employees, like, we would get them like a massage like once every few months or so, because it's hard work. And so I already kind of had that value for employees then. And then I felt like being at Charles Schwab kind of expanded that for me. And then
Mm-hmm.
it was like, what, if we're going to get the cleaning business going again, that way I can continue to have this flexible schedule. Because I feel like once you work for yourself, you don't ever want to work for somebody else again long term.
No. No.
So, I, my, there's so many little pins on the board. So the weekend of my dad's funeral, my niece was molested. And it was like, oh my God, like, how can I lose my best friend? And then now my niece is going through this. Her and I are super close. And, and I didn't know what an impact that would have on me till later, because as you know, like, grieving your father when you're a daddy's girl is like, oh, it's undescribable. Like, it's really
Don't get us both
indescribable.
crying on here.
I know,
We
I
will
know.
both
I was
cry
like,
on
I
here.
don't really want to dig into that today. I
I
don't
know.
think.
I have a picture of my dad. That one of my most beautiful picture my clients got me. He passed away during their transaction, so I wasn't able to go to the closing. But a week later, after their house closed, I got this most beautiful picture of my dad, and it sits in my office right there on that wall. And when you just started talking about daddy's girls, I looked up at him.
Yeah, it's hard. I got my dad on my mantle, and it's weird because I feel like a lot of days I tell my husband, I'm like, his death exists on the outside of me, but on the inside I won't connect with it yet. It's kind of like,
So I can't either. And sometimes when it does finally connect, I know we're going off tangent a little bit, but it's okay. But sometimes when it does connect, it takes your breath away. I don't like I did some good friend of mine. She gave me a book, a Greek book, because I could not. I think similar to you, I think we all go through this, that your brain does not let you connect those emotions right off the bat, just because it would be so overwhelming to our bodies. So still, like, I know, like, there's times when I'm sure it does to you too, quite often, where it hits me that he's actually gone, and I can't. It feels like I can't breathe.
yeah,
But my for the most part, Ashley, I'm so disconnected with him passing away still. I mean, it's only been a few short months right now since he's left us, but like my brain does not let me connect to his passing a lot of the days, and that's what gets me through the days. And then the days that, like it hits me, I can't breathe. It knocks the wind right out of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's tough, girl. Losing our dads.
It is. It is. And it's just, I don't know. He was in Kentucky the last 4 years of his life, and it was just, I don't know. It was weird. It's weird. We always thought, like, oh, when we retire, we'll move down there and kind of make up for lost time because my parents were split up whenever I was young. So he was like, I got to see him every other weekend. And I lived with him for a couple years after high school, but yeah,
It's tough.
yeah, it's a strange space to be in. And he helps, he inspired so many people. Like, he was in biker gangs when I was young. He was a pastor when he died, and he loved ministry. He was, ministering to a lot of people in Kentucky, and in his hometown, his family's home. That's where most of our family is from, is Edmonton. So, to see like all these cards and letters, like, I mean, he had like a stack from all these people who were just like pulling for him, and it's like this weird feeling of like, but that's my dad. Like, I know you love him, but that's my dad. And like, it was like this little girl you almost wanted to like protect, but then it was like so inspiring at the same time, like all these people that he had helped. And I wanted life to have more purpose. I didn't want to be on the phones with people and, help them get rich or whatever, and it might be fun, but I don't think I gotta move. Sitting at the office at Schwab was not the best for me. I have TMJ, so I'm like having flare ups and vertigo all the time, and crying and studying and then crying because I miss my dad, and then studying, because he was excited about me working there. But since his passing, it was just like, I mean, it's been a whole new wild journey. Like, I feel like I'm finding parts of me that I never knew existed before. I don't know if it's natural for a girl to like connect more. I feel like for me, I was a lot of times as a daughter, I just wanted to make him proud. And then I feel like I was only aware of how much I was like my mom. But then now I feel like when I look in the mirror, like I'm seeing his mother, I'm like, it's losing him found me in a lot of ways.
I do. I understand that completely, and that kind of goes into this next question, just because how does providing a meaningful work, financial education, and resources help individuals overcome adversity, rebuild their confidence in their lives?
Yeah. So what our hope is, to first and foremost, we want to be like a foundational community, a safe community for people. So it's hard for people with sexual trauma and domestic violence situations to really connect with the world around them unless it's people that have come out of it. So in a sense, this is a way of me bringing water back to the fire. It just looks different now.
Yeah.
But it's kind of one of those things to where we want it to be a personal journey. We're not going to come in and be like, you need to do this, this, and this. It's meeting the person where they're at, finding out what they need, financial my dad was amazing with money, but he didn't teach me anything. He didn't really teach me much about finances. And, I feel like for a long time, still like that kid getting their allowance. I'm like, okay, can we go to the gas station?
Let's go spend it all.
Go to McDonald's. You never will just go to McDonald's. Let's go there. I want a Big Mac. Just like, that kind of thing. And Schwab has like resources that we can provide. That is free financial resources. They're great on education there. So it almost feels like I get to kind of collab with, them still. But the empowerment piece is just to help walk alongside them in their journey. So like what I'm hoping to be able to provide is scholarship funds for mental health resources. Like I said, I've been in therapy for 12 years. It is getting less and less common that people take insurance. And most of my sessions that I'm taking are $150 plus an hour. How are people supposed to get better? How are people supposed to find these resources that give them hope? And then I started, after my dad passed away, because I'm like, I don't want to sit in front of a therapist for the rest of my life. Like, like how else can I grow? Okay, well, I don't really connect with myself as a person anymore. What are what are things that I wanted to do, I never did. I've always loved music. I was sang on worship team at the last church that we were at, and it just did something next level for me. So I started I'm still work with a vocal coach, 38 years old. I don't care. I hope that by the time I'm 40, I can do a back handspring. I love yoga, like gymnastics. My family didn't have the money to like send me to gymnastics, so I didn't get to necessarily do those things. And I think sometimes like being able to provide resources where people can return to things they once loved or once had interest in, because it kind of sparks this hope of like, oh wait, like it doesn't have to be a dead dream, like you can start over. It's like giving people this confidence that if you're still breathing, it's not too late. It might look different than it would have been before, but I don't really want to compartmentalize, mental health resources or, hobby and lifestyle resources or whatever. I really want it to be kind of more broad.
Mm-hmm.
That way it can be there to come and support the individual. So that's one side of the nonprofit. And then the other side is we want to come back to our public safety and veterans and help them. My husband and I got ketamine treatments in August of 2024, a couple months before my dad found out he had cancer. It was a great experience. It was a tough experience for sure, but it was life changing. But for us to go do that, it was $5,000. A lot of these firemen are not, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go buy me a, four-wheeler instead or whatever. But like, I feel like we could do a better job as a community of taking care of our public safety personnel because they don't get paid great for what they do. You have, I'm sure, have experienced yourself of like what the line of duty can do to someone mentally, emotionally, physically. It can wear you down over time. And if there are these resources available that can help reset you, like ibogaine, like what are we doing? What are we waiting for? So it's kind of a two-hand thing because my husband and I both were super passionate about firefighting. He's a lieutenant now at the station at Station 94, and we've always had we've always just shared that passion, and we've always like had this desire for better for the guys and
Mm-hmm.
girls and wanting more resources for them. So that's something else that we have talked about because we don't know what the structure of this kind of thing looks like a nonprofit is a whole other ball game from an LLC.
Right.
you know
And and same with my business, which I said it in my very first episode. Like, I highly respect any first responders, school teachers, someone in the medical field. Those people that could. I feel like first responders don't get paid enough for what they do every day. I mean, my better half goes out every night not knowing, will she be back home that night? It's just, I feel like for myself as an agent, there's not a ton I can do, but the little bit I can do, I'm most definitely going to do it for that first responder or the veteran or the school teacher. I don't care if you're the janitor at the school, like you're part of the school system to make that run smoothly throughout the year. I'm going to take care of that person as well.
Yeah. Well, and I think what gets overlooked a lot as well is what the families go through because we're so focused on our, service provider. Like we're all providing a service to the community because this is a huge commitment for the whole family, I feel like, and
Mm-hmm.
it's it's one of those things where we're hoping stigma can start to get broken. We lost a really good friend, Austin Speece. He overdosed, and it was really hard because I worked out at his station a lot at the end of my pregnancy because it was a slower firehouse. And there were times where I thought I'd notice because like whenever you're in public safety, you notice things. When you're in the medical field, you notice things. You can kind of pick up on some signs that someone might,
Behaviors. Yeah.
yeah, someone might be using or whatever. He was sleeping all day long for the most part. There was a few times where like his jaw would slack to the side whenever we were talking, and then it wasn't long after, I think it was like maybe a year later, he died of an overdose. And it broke my heart. Like we've went on, you know, GI bleeds together. Like we had went through some tough tough calls together, and it was just so painful to see such a he had such a huge heart for the fire service. It was so painful to like watch that life be lost. And then there was another guy, a few, like around the time I started, and then to the point now where like we've lost some guys to suicide. Like it's it's tough. And instead, you know, of supporting people, and it gets knocked, it gets, you know, spoke up on as a sign of weakness. And
Hmm.
when we
That's what I
do
was gonna
that,
say. That's still, especially for a man, and I can't speak on behalf of all of them, but usually someone is in the, say, a firefighter, police officer, talk about their feelings is almost unheard of, right? Like they're not
mhm.
gonna openly and willingly talk to you about their feelings. And I know one of the biggest leading causes of death for a police officer is suicide. I can't remember the statistics on that, but it's so high. It's almost unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's challenging because I'm so passionate about the sexual trauma side, but also the PTSD side of
Yeah.
things. Because like we have a military family. My brother went to Afghanistan. He went to Kandahar, Afghanistan. He has been home for a few years now, and he's just never been the same. Not, you know, and it's I feel like to the public safety and military world, it's like this sacrifice that we choose to make, that we have to make. And we just accept that rather than accepting the possibility of having something more. And I think part of that, I mean, at least for me, like knowing that Ibogaine is in my future now, I feel guilty. I feel guilty for the access to the treatment. I feel guilty for what an amazing reset it's going to be for my brain. Like I don't know if you've heard anything about ibogaine or studied it at all, but it is literally like 80%, 90% curing PTSD and depression and anxiety and addiction. And I think they said that we just watched a documentary on it last night, and I think they said in the first year, like heroin addicts, it was like an 80% success rate after the first treatment, and the second treatment it was like 90.
That's amazing.
And you know, and so for me it's like everyone deserves this peace and this relief, but especially people who are committing themselves to service. And we're losing so many people early because of alcoholism. Like I can't tell you how many times even myself was coming in still lit from the night before. You know, I mean, my uncle committed suicide right when I started at the firehouse, and then had a tough DOA run. And one of the guys that I was in class with had accidentally shot himself in the head when he was cleaning his gun. So it was like starting off in that heaviness, you know. And I think we just get so egotistical in the US of like being able to carry our stuff, and the more we can push through, then the more of a badge of honor it is. But you know, I was talking to my brother. He's huge on pushing psychedelics, and he loves listening to Joe Rogan whenever he's on that topic. And I just told him about how I feel selfish for going, I want to send my whole family. We've had 2 suicides in our family.
Hmm.
And he was just like, it's selfish if you don't go. It's selfish if you know that there's this possibility that you can live a better life for yourself and your family, and you're not going to take it because you don't want to leave other people behind. But what my hope is for the whole situation is that it's going to be a step forward, and hopefully we'll be able to come back and pull even more people up out of whatever it is they're struggling with, you know. So
Hmm.
those, and even being able to provide that to sexual trauma survivors as well. Like one of the things that I was volunteering out at the Hope Center. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but I
Hmm.
was talking with the director or whatever, and this was one of the first times that I really connected with my struggle as a trauma survivor, because these are girls that have been trafficked. I was almost abducted twice, but I didn't get abducted, so it was like I felt like I didn't have any kind of right to even think of relating to people who have been through stuff like that. And she said, every day these girls are just trying to survive, and it's not because of drugs, it's not because they're running from people, they are truly just trying not to kill themselves every day. And I just I left and I broke down, because it was like, I had all these dark secrets and that went on within my house, and a lot of them I didn't even know, because the stuff started when I was so young. It was just normalized to me. I thought everybody's life experience was like that, and what a dangerous way to think, because if you think that that's what life is like for everyone else, then you don't see a way out. And you know I've always known that I've wanted to somehow give back to those two communities and really help people up, because they have DNA and video evidence of this guy that, assaulted my niece, and he has been walking free still for over a year. And he's facing 30 plus, but
He's still out.
he's still out doing whatever he wants, traveling to Florida. Like, there's just so much injustice that's done. And not only, and my thing is like, so he gets prison time. What is going to be handed back to my niece? Is anyone going to be standing there saying, these are the resources for you to survive? She's at risk for addiction. I mean, she's 15 now, so she's going wild because she doesn't know what to do with herself. And we need more safe places for people to come to that they know is like, this is a judgment-free zone. I don't care what your choices are whenever you're outside of here, because a lot of times people in that kind of situation, as long as they just know they have somewhere that they can talk to someone that's not going to judge them, that can keep them alive.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, too, Ashley, what has been the most surprising lesson you've learned while growing a purpose-driven, service-based business in your local market?
I think for me, because embarking on new journeys is scary,
Mm-hmm.
but every person that I have started to network with, or just like, even just being, I love going to Franklin. So just popping in the boutiques and stuff down there and just kind of letting people know, like, what the vision is or whatever. People are so moved by it. And that has been really empowering. It's really, because for me, it's always felt like we turn a cheek to it. That's kind of how I was raised, that you just turn a cheek to these issues, and the amount of resources that people were willing to give me and things that they were willing to do to support that vision has just been really humbling for me. And I think it's more so because of my personal journey
Mm-hmm.
than anything, the reason why that's been so surprising.
And kind of like back to your cleaning business about the chemicals, what is the biggest misconception people have about relying on harsh chemical cleaners versus non-toxic? Non-toxic, I couldn't even say that word. Non-toxic intentional methods your team uses.
Yeah. They think that the commercial products do a better job. If it doesn't
That's
smell,
what I was gonna say. If it doesn't smell like it's killing you, then it probably not working.
yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I can see that, because honestly, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just when I grew up, like smelling that bleach, like I knew the house was clean. I
Yeah.
smelled bleach, I knew the house was clean. So maybe it's just like that memory that, and I think women too, I've seen a statistic on this, that women go off smell. Like a smell can take them right back to a memory in time. So
Yeah.
I feel like for myself, like when I smell bleach, I'm like, oh, everything is, clean. I can eat all the floor if I want to. But in reality anymore, like you got to retrain. Just because you don't smell it does not mean it's not clean.
Mm-hmm.
So, for a family moving into a previously owned home, why is a deep, non-toxic clean so critical for their peace of mind and physical health?
Yeah, the peace of mind is just knowing that like a there's nothing like a full house reset, like there's things that other people left behind, whenever you're moving into a new space, and when someone has the opportunity to come in and just like reset that space for you, you don't have to think about like oh my gosh, we're putting the forks away, we got to clean out this drawer that's dirty. You can really just bask in the new journey that you're embarking on of buying a new home, like walking into this house, and it's not just a house that you just bought. It's a house that's ready for you. It's a house that's like receiving you and not fighting you every step of the way when you're unpacking and, trying to move stuff in, or, you throw stuff in the closet and you see that there's like a bunch of dog hair in there because that's where their dog toys were or whatever. And you're like, well, just get to it later. That stuff over time. I mean, at least for me, it just becomes like this to-do list that just keeps stacking, and you have enough to do when you're moving into a house. Like, you
Have-
have to figure out where you want all your stuff. That's enough.
It is overwhelming to move. I last show I had a professional moving company on here, so I told myself if I ever move again, like I am never picking up another box and moving it. I
Yeah.
blame it on my age now. I'm too old to lift heavy stuff, is what I say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was gonna say like, because either how does booking a professional move in or move out cleaning actually help make it less overwhelming and emotional stress for the real estate transaction, which you kind of just already said, that's kind of the last thing you want to do, worry about is moving in a brand new house and having to clean the brand new house. So booking something with you guys kind of alleviates some of that stress that you have already.
Yeah.
Have a fresh, clean house to, just bring your other items, bring it straight into your new house.
Yeah. And there's so many bumps and stuff along the way anyway, whenever you're moving into a new house. For me, like, it's the simple things that you can take off your plate that really do make a big difference, because if the water heater goes out, it's going out. But at
Mm-hmm.
least your house is clean.
It's clean. It looks good.
Yeah, yeah. Especially, I mean, even if it's a 2,000 square foot home, or anywhere from 1,200, it doesn't matter how big or small the house is. It's just such, oh my gosh. I think that's why we've been in the same house for 11 years, is because it was just, I feel like it's just now starting to feel like home. Like, we had it remodeled and was able to do stuff, and I think moving in and being able to just set your space up without dealing with that, it's just extra static in the brain, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
And I know on my end, a lot of people are weary about having strangers in their home. How do you build that trust between your clients to build that relationship where they can trust you to be in their house? How does your business handle that?
Yeah, consent is so important. And letting I have an open door policy. I let all my clients know, there will not be anyone coming to your house that you haven't met prior, unless you say that you don't find it necessary to meet them. If they insist on me being there, then that's just what has to happen until they get comfortable or familiar with the crew. That's something I never wanted, was a bunch of different people moving in and out of the same house all the time. So, with how our teams will work, is there's a team that's designated to a certain area, so they're used to these same people coming in. They get familiar, they're able to build relationships with the people that are coming into their home, because it's such a vulnerable thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could have been in a hurry and your underwear is laying on the floor, and we're coming in with the toilet brush, and it's like, oh, okay. Or maybe you forgot to flush the toilet. I mean, these are real life things that happen inside your house, and not to make it weird, but it's just real, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to build that trust with them. And I think that's the highest form of flattery for me, is someone trusting me with their home. I do not take that lightly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take it lightly at all. And although, our employees are important, they 100% are going to be cared for. We're going to have their backs, but not at the extent of our morals or at the extent of someone else's discomfort. If someone else is uncomfortable with something, that's valid. And we make the adjustments to move forward from there. There's no one quick fix for every single situation. Everybody's different. Everyone has different preferences. And we really try to be flexible within reason, you know? Um, we've had some crazy requests. Like I had a client one time that got partied a little too hard the night before and they ended up vomiting and it was all over the bathroom and they wanted us to clean it up and that's a no for me.
There's
'Cause
lines.
yeah, yeah, because like that's biohazard. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
already enough like cleaning the toilets and things like that, but there has to be a little bit of no, that's not gonna work type
Yeah.
of, but
Yeah.
making sure that they're familiar with who's coming in there, letting them know like I'll over communicate with them and it might get annoying, but it's for their comfort because I'm not going to assume what anyone else is going to be comfortable with. So if I had to, hey, so and so is sick, I got to send this cleaner to your house today. No, it's, hey, would you feel comfortable if this person came instead, or would you rather reschedule?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not free this afternoon, but I could come with them tomorrow. Creating that flexibility so the client feels like they're still in control of their home. We're not going to come in and just,
Take over.
yeah, yeah.
And just random people just show up.
Yeah, yeah,
But that does happen. That does happen. I've heard stories about it. Especially in being a real estate agent, you come in contact with a lot of people, so I hear a lot of stories. But there's people that things go missing. I know that's a big one. Like when people go to hire a cleaning company that I've been stolen from before. So I think that's a huge one for like I know you personally, so it helps a lot. But just having that open line of communication, that
yeah,
those people, that fear automatically just dissipates from just because of your line of communication. And
yeah.
Brooke, given your high standards, what is the biggest red flag homeowners should watch out for when hiring someone to maintain their home?
Mm, I feel like I can think of so many, but if you are, say, if it's an in-home estimate, if you can tell that they're like checked out, not listening to you, that's a red flag to me. Like
Mm-hmm.
if someone is not intently listening to what your needs are, or even trying to clarify, um, to me, that's a red flag. Just because it's not how I operate. People that come say you have a 2,000 square foot house and someone gives you a top to bottom cleaning in 2 hours, you're not getting
Probably
much of
red
a cleaning.
flag. What are
You're
they
not getting
actually
much of a,
doing?
yeah. And pricing, I can't really say because there's some people out here that truly do an amazing job at cleaning and they'll charge $25 an hour. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it works for them. We pride ourselves on luxury cleaning. Like I'm the type of person that I will clean your stuff and it will be as close to looking like new as possible. It really is a reset and but there's other people that it's just maintenance or whatever. And not that luxury level is the only thing that we offer. There's different tiers that you can get, but everyone has a niche and some people's niche is not cleaning. I have heard so many horror stories from a specific company where I've come in behind them after they've been in there and done estimates and they were like they literally didn't clean anything. They vacuumed my floors and left. And the stuff that the client's asking me to do would take me 4 or 5 hours, by myself. So it's one of those things. Look at the reviews. Look if they have references, ask for them, and a lot of I think where a lot of clients really can kind of set themselves up for failure is not knowing what they want. They know they want
Mm-hmm.
help, but they're not really sure what kind of help. And, you know, I mean, as a crazy busy mom, you're just going to be like, just get in here and clean my house. A lot of these companies, people really need clear direction on what you want, because so no cleaner is. Geez, I had my best friend still to this day. We've been best friends for about 7, 8 years now. But she used to work for me. She started out as my work wife, and then she divorced me and became a social media marketer. Now she's just my best friend, but like her and I cleaned the same. Like we were like twins on the scene, like getting everything done. And everybody has they just have a different eye. Everyone has a different eye for cleaning, and
Mm-hmm.
some people it's just their prices are cheap, so a lot of people have hired them and they're happy with them because there's a lot of people out here they don't want to pay more than $100 to have their house clean, and
Which
that's
do you
okay.
guys, yeah, do you guys offer like I know you said you offer different tiers, like, because sometimes I don't deep clean every day when I run the vacuum or, dust the clean the kitchen countertops and stuff like that. So would you have something where someone could just offer like the minimal, or and then like maybe someone would want like the baseboards cleaned, all the windows cleaned, all
Hmm.
that stuff. So do you guys have those types of different tiers as well?
Yeah, I think with my experience it's been challenging to like really put together full packages because there's just so many different ways to clean. And for me, I think it's just become one of those things where it's easiest to say, do you want luxury level cleaning or would you like a custom clean where the
So it's
person,
kind of tailored to that each client. So a client,
yeah,
I could have you come in here today and be like, "Hey, Ashley, you know what? I just need the floor swept just to make it look okay for a bunch of people to come over." Or I could ask you the next time, I want more like a spring clean. I want my baseboards wiped down, my walls wiped down, make sure I have dogs, so no
mhm,
dog slobbers on the walls. And so that's something you would offer as well.
yep,
I
yeah.
love
So
that.
we have like those full custom things where like I have a lady who loves to clean her own house, but she hates dusting and she wants like her kitchen deep cleaned once a month. So I literally go in there and I dust everything top to bottom and clean her kitchen, and she doesn't let me sweep up the floor. Like she once I'm done, she goes through and she does her Tuesdays her cleaning day. So I just come in and do the stuff she doesn't want to do, and then she comes in and does her stuff after I leave.
I
She like, which is so like it's cringy for me. And my sister also cleans a couple houses, and she gets in trouble all the time by my mom because my mom's like, they don't want this done. And she's like, I can't help it. If I see it, it's got to be done. So some cleaners really are like extra thorough, and they can't. That was a problem that she was having, is that she found that cleaners couldn't just come in there and just do the things that she wanted
mm-hmm.
them to do. They had to clean up their mess because it just felt wrong to them. But it's really listening to the client, hearing what the client needs, and trusting that that's true. Just because you prefer to clean up the dust that you wiped off the fan off the floor, you're doing the client a disservice by not taking the client's needs and wants into consideration fully. And even though it may feel better to you to clean it up, really that client just wants you to come in and do what they don't want to do and then leave, you know?
Now, before we get off here and wrap this episode up, what is one simple non-toxic habit every homeowner should start doing today or immediately improve their living environment?
Buy a Norwex rag.
That's what I was gonna say. Girl, I'm getting me some.
Get a Norwex cloth.
I'm getting me one, and
You
I'm
get
gonna send you a picture when I
25%
get
off
it.
on a consultant. So I do that to buy my own products. But yeah, I mean, it's a game changer. It's such a game changer. It's you don't have to deal with the annoying paper towels and oh my god, your mirrors. Like the streak-free mirrors, and you don't have all the paper towel dust on the mirror and stuff, like glass cleaning glass with it. I mean, it's and you don't have the chemicals. And if you want it to smell a little bit, spray some like essential oils or something, mix it up in a little water bottle. But yeah, buy a Norwex rag.
I love that. I love it. And Brooke, Where can all these fantastic people that's been listening find you and possibly order their say it for me, girl.
Norwex.
Norwex rag.
Yeah. So the naturalstandardcleaningco.com, I feel like that's where you get the most information. We also have a Facebook page. You can read some of our older reviews on there. My clients that I have now haven't they don't really access Facebook a lot. And then soon we'll be found on Google, but I'm not ready for that yet. We're going to do slow and steady.
I love it.
This go around. Yeah. But and I need to add a link to my website as well for the Norwex products. So I didn't want it to come off like consultant ish, because Norwex is actually like a tier marketing thing. I've never done like the parties or anything like that. I just do it to source my business, and then people like you, like,
well, and you believe in the product too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, it is. It's a remarkable product. It really is. I've been using them for, a solid 8 years now or so. And I can't find better products on the market. I just can't.
I love that. Thank you again so much for being on the show today and telling us about your business. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Unlocking More with Brittany McWilliams. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and follow so you never miss an episode. Join the conversation on social media, and we'll see you next time for more expert advice, local insight, and indie love. I'm Brittany McWilliams with Daniels Real Estate, and I look forward to helping you make your next move your best move.